they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets.
Heyo. Welcome back to another episode of Graybo's Giblets. Today, we are talking college football. I am joined, I'm Denny one time, and I'm joined by our producer and the heartbeat, not the heartbeat, but the kidneys of Graybo's Sports Cards, Ryan Fitz. Fitzy, baby, how you feeling?
Process guy, just like the kidneys.
For the process guy. We're joined by a very special guest this week. We've brought in one of my dear friends, college football enthusiast, gambling enthusiast. He's the attorney for Graybo Sports Cards. And if I ever go to jail, he is the guy I'm calling first. We call him the counselor. Keith Harvey, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys. So happy to be here. I feel like I have finally arrived in the sports entertainment industry by being on this podcast.
It's a big moment for all of us. You know how, like coaches say, we've had this one circled on the calendar for a while. Yep. Fitz and I have had this one circled for a while, so much so. So to give you guys some context, Keith, Harvey, and I have been talking about college football and sports betting for 24 years, almost every Saturday in the season for 24 years. So I know every word that's going to come out of his mouth. So I've created a bingo card called Keith Bingo. I've got 25 names, phrases, words, sentence fragments on here. Fitz has a card. I have a card. And as Keith says these things, we're going to mark them off. We have a free space. So it's really 24 phrases plus a free space. So I have asked Keith just to be himself. Don't try to say these things. Don't try not to. He doesn't know what they are, but they're buried so deep into his subconscious, he can't not say them. So let's start with just a general recap of last week. Gray's out of town at Gabe's wedding. Shout out, Gabe.
Shout out, Gabe.
Happy wedding weekend. So he can't respond to this segment, but overall last week, this was the first week for me that my big bets hit. I was generally winning games weeks 1 and 2, but losing my big bets, and I turned it around last week. So 5-0 my big bets, so it helps. Got me back into profitability for the year. Very excited. My main takeaways is Alabama kind of stunk. I've been riding Drake May, and that's done me well so far. Washington is good. You know, in the East Coast, we don't see a lot of Washington games because I don't stay up late. But they're good, and they're going to be fun to watch come playoff time if they're around. And overall, Tennessee, we thought they were a fraud. They were. Their quarterback stinks. So those were my main takeaways. Fitz, I know it was a stinky week of college football for the most part. What was your takeaways?
Yeah, bad week on paper, but there was a lot of shaky games. Like at the top, like everybody. Georgia, struggled against South Carolina. Bama struggled against South Florida. Michigan against Bowling Green. Mm-hmm. Texas against Wyoming. Florida State should have probably lost to Boston College. So I think it's wide open this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my takeaway from week 2 was that this is more wide open in college football than it's been in a long time at the top. You know, Georgia even showed some vulnerability in the first half against South Carolina. Mentioned Michigan. Looked a little sketchy, Alabama. So it's a wide open ball game to get to the playoffs, I think.
Yeah. A lot of teams seem to be looking ahead to other weeks. So let's talk about the board for this week. Well, first question for myself: what game are you most looking forward to watching? Why? And 2 plays you like. So I'll start us off. Last week, my 2 plays were Miami of Ohio plus 14.5. They won outright, so that's good. Arizona, we were fading UTEP hard last week, and Arizona covered. So I was 2-0 for the week, which brings me to 3-4 for the year. So I'm almost back to 500 there. This week, I'm looking forward to obviously Ohio State, Notre Dame. I can't wait for that one. Very excited to see Sam Hartman in this environment if he's for real. I know he's for real, but are the Irish for real in this type of game? And how good is Ohio State? Really looking forward to that. And also, I think Saban Kiffin is always entertaining. 2 games I'm betting this week. One is Rice minus 2.5 at South Florida. For the most part, it looks like South Florida's been upgraded because they kind of kept it close with Alabama. I think that was more of a product of Alabama being bad versus South Florida being good. And so I think this line's a little out of whack. Give me Rice laying 2.5. And then I like JMU going on the road. I know it's a long way to travel for them, and it's not a game that they are going to care about that much. So that's probably why you might call it a trap spot. But I just think I like JMU minus 5.5 at Utah State. Fitz, what game are you looking forward to watching?
Well, first, how bummed are you that Gray's not here to tell you your record? Because he loves to tell you how bad you do on a week-to-week
He
basis.
does. Well, he left several notes in the spreadsheet. I don't know if you noticed that.
He conveniently leaves the week you go undefeated. I am looking forward to the opposite of last week. I'm looking forward to all the games, right? We've got 6 ranked matchups.
Awesome.
Basically a 7th if you count Florida State and Clemson, Clemson's the 26th team.
Right.
That's one of the sneaky games I'm actually looking forward to the most. I wish it wasn't a noon kickoff, but I guess that leaves Ohio State, Notre Dame kind of at the prime time. So definitely be watching that one. I'm gonna tell you on the Rice minus 2.5 play. I agree with South Florida take. It was really weather and Alabama kind of like almost messing around with their quarterbacks. If it was Saban trying to prove something to Tommy Rees there, but yeah, I'll go with Rice, and then I'm gonna go with Clemson plus 2.5. I'd love to get to 3, but I don't think it gets there. But I'll be watching that. Maybe a live opportunity. I think Florida State, they scared me last week. And Clemson, if you look at that Duke game, right, they don't have 2 of those crazy turnovers. They probably win that game, and this is a top 10 matchup. So I think they maybe got a little cheated there.
Yeah, the sharps that I follow basically are saying Florida State is overvalued because of their first game, primetime game against LSU. And the opposite for Clemson, like the first primetime game against Duke, they look horrible. And so this line should be a couple points the other way. I'm afraid to bet Clemson, to be honest with you, because I generally do think there's this gradual decline of Clemson because of Dabo being a little dated. Stubborn, dated. And a lot of his methods were cool 15 years ago, not as cool now. But we'll see. And I forgot to mention Fitz is 4-3 on the year.
Oh, yeah, I was 0-2 last week.
Yeah, we'll skip.
This might be their last stand. Saturday. Clemson's last stand. They might make one last little
blip.
Touching Howard's rock. It'll be rocking.
Well, Duke also looked really bad, but like Duke's good.
Yeah.
So like the loss doesn't look as bad as it did that night.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. So Gray last week, Gray's 2-4 on the year. He this week he likes Colorado State money line versus Middle Tennessee, as do I. He likes Oregon minus 21 versus Colorado. So basically, he both sides of the last week's Colorado State game. Basically saying it's time for Colorado to kind of show that they got some weaknesses especially without Hunter. Keith, I know the answer to this. What game are you looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, the Irish. You got
Irish.
I'm a
bingo card.
Lifelong Irish fan, and I Dave Clawson Wake. Followed them closely over the last several years, and I love Sam Hartman. So the combination is
Hartman.
Yeah, that's a exciting matchup, and I've got some close friends that are Bucks fans, so it'll be intense. But also looking forward to I've been riding the Coach Prime wave, so
Coach Prime.
They could be facing their first true stiff competition this week. So I'm interested to see how they hold up. They've been very organized and don't shoot themselves in the foot. They're well coached, but I don't know that they can hang with Oregon. So we'll see about that one. My picks this week, a little off the radar. I've got tonight, Friday Night Lights, Purdue plus 5.5 is what I have against Wisconsin. They haven't beaten Wisconsin since 2003, so they're due.
They're due.
Do on here?
Oh, yeah.
That's one I knew was on the bingo card, but I can't. I was gonna say it, of course, during this podcast. Guess who the quarterback was for Purdue in 2003? I just looked this up this morning.
That's why we would know.
You would know, yes.
He went to the league, probably.
2003 Purdue. Yeah, played in the league.
Not Drew Brees.
Is that your guess?
Well, I'm trying to think that when it was Drew Brees. That's the only Purdue quarterback.
He's about your age.
Could be.
I'll go with Drew Brees. I don't have another guess.
I think it was the guy after Drew Brees.
It's the guy after Drew Brees. It may have been a one-year guy in between these two, but I think this guy picked it right up after Brees, if I'm not mistaken. And he played for the Bears for a little while.
Picturing a large white man.
Yeah, okay. That's a Purdue quarterback.
Yeah. Taller than Drew Brees. I'm blanking.
Me too.
Kyle Orton.
Oh my God! Yeah, very Midwestern last name. Yeah.
So, all right, that's
Kyle or not on the bingo card.
It was not on the bingo card.
I'm riding Purdue, and then my other West Virginia plus 6.5. I took them preseason over 4.5 wins, so I'm kind of riding them. I think they're grinding. Neil Brown's fighting for his job. They lost 48-10 at Texas Tech last year, so it's a little bit of a revenge game as well.
Yeah, very nice. Okay. I like to go G5 teams. He likes to pick like shitty Power 5 games. That's like his thing, right?
You're way off the radar. Duke, I'll give him credit, had Georgia State last night.
And cover 5. Yeah. I snuck that one in. Thank God. I don't know if you watched. If you probably watched an NFL game. You didn't see the game. They actually, Georgia State fumbled a punt on their own goal line and like gave Coastal Carolina a free touchdown towards the end. So it should have been 7 points more.
Oh wow!
So I covered by 20. I should have covered by 27. So yeah, I was big on Georgia State and kind of down on Coastal for what it's worth.
20 out the gate.
Yeah. You hear that? All cover 5 opponents. They're all probably at Gabe's wedding this weekend. Probably not listening to us.
This group's doing pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Us two, the Counselor and Gray, like all top 5 or 6.
Yeah, we're all up there.
And and by the way, of all the betting that we do and all these different podcasts or pools and formats, the cover 5 is like my favorite, and that's the one that like that's when I judge whether I'm doing well or not. Yeah. I have 20 things. I'm going to win some, lose some. But if I'm in cover 5, if I'm winning cover 5,
shout out to Keith for texting me at 11:58 last Saturday to tell me to get my picks.
You had no picks in. All right, let's go. Segment number 2, upset of the week. Who is your dog of the week? What underdog spread do you love? Last week, the boys went 3-0. We took Florida, who won outright, Ohio, who won outright. And in this format, Keith, it's kind of a fun format. We get 5 points for a cover. We get 5 points plus the spread for an outright win. So, like, the bigger the dog, the better in that. And then you get 1 point for a push. We saw that from College Game Day, this format. All right, so my pick of the week, I'm coming into the week. Bitson first, 16.5 points to the good. Duke, 11.5 points to the good. And Gray, 8 points. I'm taking Sam Houston State, getting 12.5 at Houston. This is just a fade on Houston and Dana Holgerson. The boys are quitting on Dana. I would be surprised if he survives the season, especially if this one goes away. I think it will. So I like him to cover, and I think that's like a sneaky money line play as well. When you're getting 29 points, a money line is going to pay well, and I don't hate the money line here. Fitz, who is your dog of the week? And I'm starting to laugh seeing who it is.
Yeah, it's the Hokies.
Oh my God.
Plus 4.5 at Marshall. I think they opened up at a touchdown underdog, but it's been bet down a little bit. I'm still going to take them. They're 6-0 straight up against Marshall in the last 6. Grant Wells, homecoming game.
Oh man, he's had this one circled.
I don't know if he's actually going to play though. He's still beat up from Purdue when he went down, I think, with an ankle.
Mm-hmm.
The state of major college football in the Commonwealth of Virginia right now.
God. So out of whack.
James, you already mentioned James Madison. They're the best team in the state by far.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But yeah, the Hokies showed me a lot against Rutgers last week, so I believe in them.
Would you take Liberty over Tech and UVA?
Yeah, they'd be favored on a neutral.
And then
site.
Last year you would have taken ODU for probably both of them, but this year Tech beat ODU.
Right. I'm pulling. When they're both struggling like this, I'm pulling for. I'm not traditionally one who pulls for either of those teams, but when they're struggling like this, you want to see the.
You just feel sorry for them.
I mean,
especially Virginia. Like
I want I'd prefer if they were both good every year, at least competitive.
Yeah. What sucks is like these 5 colleges now are all like taking recruits from each other. When we used to like dominate we being Tech used to dominate 7-5-7. You're losing recruits to all of those teams we just mentioned. Not to mention the out of state schools get the good ones.
Well, yeah, the 4 stars, and they're leaving the state.
None of them stay here.
This pick is also so people can't get mad at me because most people who don't have a bookie can't actually bet this game. So.
Unless you drive
to Colonial Beach.
Beach. The points bet casino there.
That's on Duke's bingo. Colonial Beach, Virginia.
Beach. Yeah, ship it. All right, so you like the Hokies. Gray, actually, this is funny. I didn't even see this. Gray like Sam Houston as well. What are the odds of me and Gray both taking Sam Houston? We must have listened to the same podcast.
In cover 5, y'all have had a lot of overlap. So I don't know if it's because of this, talking about your picks and listening to the same, informational
It's great
material.
My picks. Yes. I should make him put his cover 5 picks in before this podcast. And same with Booth, because Booth steals picks from us too.
Yeah, of course.
All right, Keith. So who is your dog of the week? I know you like this because you love picking dogs. So who's your dog of the week?
There were several that I my 2 picks I already mentioned were both dogs, West Virginia, Purdue, but UCLA +6 or so. That line's been moving. Cam Rising for Utah is questionable, and they keep it close to the vest as far as whether he's going to play. I don't think it matters. I think the perception is Utah will beat up UCLA up front. Traditionally, that's how that type of matchup has gone, but I think UCLA is a lot better up front now. They have 3 kind of stud running backs. They have a young quarterback who's got a lot of potential. I think they hang with Utah at the very least and maybe win outright.
It's a day game, too, so it's not as, Utah under the lights. That's tough, but
I do like UCLA as well, for what it's worth.
Yep.
And so as of now, it's still 50-50 on him playing, on Cam Rising playing. Is that right?
I think they already know. To the rest of the world, it's 50-50 maybe.
Cool. All right, cool. We talked about cover 5 earlier. We actually, on this show, we boil it down to a cover 3, and we make people pick from just the top 25 games. Which, as a bettor, I would not. This is not how I would live your life as a bettor. I would look at all the slate and pick 1, 2, 3, 10, however many games you like, but don't make yourself pick these ones you're not sure about. So I rarely end up betting these games personally, unless I really feel strongly, because the bigger the program, the sharper the line's going to be, typically, in my opinion. But so from the cover 3 slate, going into this week, I'm in first with +94. Fitz is +83, and Grace +63.5. That is bizarre. That's
strong.
That's very strong. I've done better at this than I have in cover 5, which is crazy. So last week I was 2-1, 10 points to the good. Bama killed me, but then I did well with Florida and Carolina. Let's see. This week I am taking Oregon -21. Fading Coach Crum. I'm taking Duke -21.5. I'm just going to ride Duke for a while, thinking they're pretty well coached. They're playing well. They're playing a bad UConn team. UConn's down this year. Kind of a trap spot.
Just this year?
Well, they were showing some signs of life last year. Yes, they've been really bad for a long time. Last year, they're showing signs of life. They seem to kind of be regressing. I don't think they've covered yet. This guy, I recognize this is a trap spot. Duke traveling up to Northeast to a team they don't care about. Bigger line, laying 21.5. But I still, of the choices I have, that's one I'm making. And then I really want this to happen. I'm actually the game of the weekend. I'm not going to place a big bet on it because I don't feel strongly either way. But for this format, give me the Irish.
How about that?
Getting a field goal. I think, I believe in Sam Hartman. To me, he's a difference maker. I just believe in their quarterback. Obviously, Ohio State is better at a lot of positions in Notre Dame, but I'm not a believer in Ohio State yet, and I am a believer in Sam Hartman, so give me the Irish.
Play like a champion today. Is that on the card?
No, but God, it should be. As you've been talking, there's a couple things I've wanted to add. That would be a good one. All right, Fitz is +83. Last week he was 2-1. He also got crushed by Bama, but he also took Florida, and then he took Central Michigan.
Yep.
So it's 10.5 to the good. That wasn't the line, right? So Central Michigan covered against the Irish last week. Fitz, who do you like this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go I'm going to go with Notre Dame to cover 3. I think they win that outright. I'm also going to go Wazoo. They've been pretty good to me this year. They're at home in Pullman against Oregon State. I just don't trust DJU. I think they can win that one outright. And I actually had a pick on here, and it kind of goes to the text chain that we have where Keith is kind of like the voice of reason. I'll say things, and then Keith kind of reins it in. I'm like, yeah, Keith is actually right. So I actually had Utah down, and I'm switching now live to Cincinnati +14.5 against Oklahoma.
Okay.
I think they can keep that one close. And Gray has Utah, so I want to bet against Gray.
There you go.
Yeah, fade Gray is a fun way to live your life. So Gray last week, Gray's a +63.5 to the good for the season. Last week he was 2-1. He took Georgia, which hurt him, but he won with Florida and Ohio State. So this week Gray's taking Oregon -21, Utah -4, and Arkansas getting 18. Keith, who do you like in the cover 3 this week?
I'm gonna stick with UCLA plus the points. I love the Ferentz boys in Iowa City. So give me Iowa +14.5 is what I have. I think they're being underestimated. Their quarterback's starting to find himself. They'll hang around. 14.5 points is a lot against an Iowa football team that's going to keep it low scoring. And then I'm going to keep riding the Southern Cal wave. I think they are on a mission to run up scores on people. They're at Arizona State, who's terrible. So I'm looking for like a 63-10 type score there.
Okay.
Who thought we'd get so many good sound bites from Iowa press conferences?
Yeah. So that's why I was laughing, because last year Keith was like, just got a kick out of the whole Ferentz, when folks were sending videos thinking he had retired or whatever,
Right.
that part. And then did I send you guys the video this week? Did I send it to you?
I haven't seen it.
What was the exact line? So he's like, y'all keep talking about this 25 points thing. We just dropped 41. He goes, take a step ladder.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
get out of my house.
I heard that. I saw that little
Oh, my God.
clip.
Yeah, the last year, the cameos with the basketball coach sent him one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Stoops sent him one.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God.
What were they congratulating on his retirement?
Yeah, but it was so, like,
They just put his first name in the cameo, so they didn't actually know they were
Right.
but
Good bit.
I think with
Good
Stoops, it was like, hey, man, coach again for everybody. Poor guy. He still, every week has to get up, trudge up to the press
I
conference.
can assure you, Kirk Ferentz didn't even after hearing about it, didn't bother to watch it. He doesn't care.
All right, so here we go. Segment 4, lock of the week. So this is the best bet. If you're going to put your money in one place this week, where are you putting it? So last week, I finally got one on the board with Miami of Ohio. Thank God. So that brings me to 1-2 for the year. Fitz is 2-1. He won last week with LSU. Gray is also 2-1. He took Arizona over Utah.
Or you know.
And so good week for the boys. This week, I've flip-flopped a couple of times on this between Rice and Sam Houston State, but I am going to take, if I believe they could possibly win the game, then I think they can cover 12.5. Again, this is just a hard fade on Houston and Dana Holgerson. So give me Sam Houston State plus 12.5 as my big bet of the week. Fitz.
I love with all these games going on this weekend, you're just going to be sitting there with your 3 screens and watching Sam Houston State on one of them.
On my laptop, probably, yeah.
I'm going to go to the Ohio State Notre Dame game, but I'm not going to take the side. I'm going to take the under at 55.5. It opened at 63.5, so it's already been bet down quite a bit. But I like both defenses here, and I like it to kind of be, a slugfest. So yeah, that way I can kind of still root for both, but I do like the Irish, but I'll go under here.
All right.
I wish that was a traditional 2:30 afternoon game in South Bend. But night will be awesome, but it just doesn't feel like Notre Dame Stadium.
It should have a stagger time by itself, right? Where
Yes,
it's the only
2:30. That's what they do.
Yeah.
That's how they roll.
Yeah. So are you going to be playing tennis at that time? Are you going to miss the game?
No, I'll be done. My match is tentatively at 4:30. So if it's I might tank it even if I have to get to the kickoff.
Humble brag. Keith and I are playing in an athletic contest this weekend. Hashtag we're athletes. So Gray took Colorado State here, getting +3. That's going to be a very interesting game just because coming off a big emotional week. How do they respond? Everybody thinks they're better than MTSU, but they're getting points. It's an interesting spot. Keith, who is your big bet of the week?
I'm gonna honorable mention. I'm gonna make a mention on. This is a sleeper game. Memphis +6.5 at Mizzou. Mizzou coming off a emotional close victory over Kansas State last week. Fans rushed the field. This is a classic letdown spot.
Bing, letdown spot.
Yeah, Memphis has a good quarterback. They'll hang. But I got to go with UCLA for my lock.
He likes the Bruins.
I'm glad I got off Utah.
Also,
can you bet on this tennis? That's some good inside information there. That
I think one of us will book your action on anything you want.
Yeah, my late Saturday afternoon match. Yeah, fade Keith Harvey in that one.
So Keith, in this, it says the Anthem, or it used to be called the Anthem. Now it's the Tallheimer Challenge tennis tournament. It's like 14 different clubs. Historically, Westwood Club has always been known to cheat, and the way you cheat in country club tennis is you get guys that are like self-rated. They haven't played enough like matches on USTA to get a rating, so they might be like a 4 or 5, but you don't know yet because they're not rated yet. And so you'll put them on your 3-5 team, and that will last for about 6 months, and then they'll play their way up to 4-0, and that lasts about 6 months. And so you have like Westwood has been known to do this. and everybody kind of hates them for it. But they haven't won every year. Like they won a couple years, but like it's been up for grabs. So who is your? Obviously, Westwood's always the favorite. Who's your dark horse?
3, 4, 5 years ago, ACAC had a.
I'm saying Westwood. I meant ACAC.
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But lately at Westwood, last year or two, Westwood has gotten in the mix. Same concept. So I don't know enough about all the different. Burkwood's my sleeper, my home club.
You think there's a lot of value in Burkwood?
We had a couple of our 3-0 team went to nationals. Our 4-5 team's strong. So yeah, we're.
And the public undervalues Mechanicsville tennis always.
Because they think we're going to show up in like cut off jean shorts and tank tops,
which you do, but
I do, but I also wear wristbands. And
I already jinxed Hermitage because Hermitage won it one time ever in 2017, right. And there's a banner up in the indoor building. And I saw the pro a couple of days ago, and I did the Aaron Rodgers line. I was like, that one banner's getting lonely up there. Yeah. And so I'm sure I'm going to tear my Achilles today. So,
was that the year you joined?
Yes, but I actually didn't play that year, so I did nothing to contribute.
And we'd like to apologize formally to the good people at Westwood for disparaging smearing your name.
Take back everything I say. I meant ACAC. Y'all know that ACAC are the cheaters. All right, boys and girls. Well, special thanks to Counselor Keith Harvey for joining us today. Any closing thoughts, anybody, before I
go Irish? Yeah. Nobody had been. What are the missing bingo words?
Well, we're gonna carry it over to the NFL one too, because we haven't got bingo yet. So a couple of these are more NFL appropriate. But no, thanks for joining us, boys. Good luck this week. Please, for details and show notes, check out graybos.co/giblets. You can email us at info@graybos.co. Follow us on the gram at graybos_cards. Stop by our card shop located at 214 East Gray Street. Thank you for riding with Graybos. Keith, will you give me a giblets? Just say giblets.
Excuse me?
What did you call
giblets.
Thanks, boys.
When I go to sleep, I don't see sheep, see dollar signs. $100 got him beat the odds for the 100th time at a money line. Brock Purdy was irrelevant, now I'm at the front like a cutting line. G5 to the power 5, Graybo's on fire like it's summertime. I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window? I know they watching, I'ma make them sweat. Put your money down, place your bets. Degenerate, yeah, I'm a sicko. Who else gon' get you to the window?